Dr. Sarah Chen stood outside the containment cell, watching the small creature huddle in the corner. The Vacrian cub was no bigger than a large dog, but its razor-sharp teeth and retractable claws marked it as one of the galaxy's apex predators. Its silver fur was matted with sweat, and its breathing came in short, painful gasps. "The fever is getting worse," said Commander Reeves through the intercom. "If we don't get the medicine into it soon, the infection will spread to its vital organs." Sarah pressed her hand against the transparent barrier. The cub's yellow eyes tracked her movement with suspicion and fear. 3 days ago, a Vacrian merchant ship had been attacked by pirates near the station. The crew fought back with their legendary ferocity, but when the station's security forces arrived, they found only bodies and this one survivor. A child, barely old enough to hunt on its own. "Have the xenobiologists tried sedation?" Sarah asked. "Twice. The cub's metabolism burns through sedatives faster than we can administer them. By the time we get close enough to inject the antibiotic, it wakes up and attacks." Reeves sighed. "We've lost 2 medical drones already. Those claws cut through reinforced steel like paper." Sarah studied the sick creature. In the galactic community, Vacrians were feared and respected in equal measure. They were warriors, hunters, predators whose fighting skills were unmatched, but they were also fiercely loyal to their clans and protective of their young. This cub had watched its entire family die. Of course it wouldn't trust strangers trying to stick needles in it. "What about the oral medication?" Sarah asked. "Prepared and ready, but we can't get it close enough to eat it. The cub destroys anything we send through the feeding slot." Sarah made her decision. "I'm going in." "What?" "Dr. Chen, that's insane. That thing could kill you in seconds." "That thing is a scared child dying of an infection we can easily cure," Sarah said firmly. "And I'm not going to let it die because we're too afraid to try something different." She walked to the equipment locker and began pulling on protective gear. Not armor, she noted. Armor would make her look like a threat. Instead, she chose a simple medical coat and gloves. She picked up the medicine, a small bottle of bright blue liquid that smelled faintly of citrus. Commander Reeves appeared in person, his face red with concern. "Dr. Chen, I can't authorize this. If the Vacrian clans find out we let one of their cubs die in our care, there will be hell to pay. But if you get killed, the diplomatic consequences will be just as bad." "Then let's make sure neither of those things happen," Sarah said. She pulled up the Vacrian medical file on her datapad. "Look, their biology is similar to Earth's predators. Big cats, wolves, bears. They learn by observation and example. The cub won't take the medicine because it doesn't trust us, so I need to show it that the medicine is safe." "How?" Sarah held up the bottle. "By drinking it first." Reeves stared at her. "That's medicine formulated for an alien species. We have no idea what it will do to a human." "I've already checked the composition. The active ingredient is a broad-spectrum antibiotic similar to ones we use. The delivery medium is a glucose solution with synthetic proteins. It might taste terrible, but it won't kill me." She headed toward the airlock. "Keep the medical team on standby for both of us." The airlock hissed open. Sarah stepped into the containment cell, and the door sealed behind her with a heavy clunk. The cub's head snapped up, and a low growl rumbled from its chest. Sarah could see every muscle in its body tensing, preparing to attack or flee. Blood stained the bandages someone had managed to apply to its injured leg during its brief sedation. Sarah sat down on the floor, making herself smaller and less threatening. She placed the medicine bottle in front of her and waited. The cub watched her with intelligent, wary eyes. "I know you understand more than you can say," Sarah said softly. The translators had confirmed that Vacrian cubs could comprehend basic galactic common, even if they couldn't speak it yet. "I know you're scared. I know everything hurts. And I know you don't trust us." The cub's ears flattened against its head. Its tail lashed back and forth. Sarah picked up the bottle. This medicine will help you. It will make the fever go away and heal your infection. But you don't believe me, do you? She unscrewed the cap. So I'm going to show you. She lifted the bottle to her lips and took a drink. The liquid was bitter and oddly thick, coating her tongue with an unpleasant chemical taste. She forced herself to swallow, then took another drink, and another. She drank half the bottle before setting it down. The cub's growling had stopped. It was staring at her with something that looked like confusion. Sarah wiped her mouth and smiled, even though her stomach was starting to feel queasy. See? It's safe. It won't hurt you. She pushed the bottle slowly across the floor toward the cub. Your turn. The cub looked at the bottle, then at Sarah, then back at the bottle. Its nose twitched, scenting the liquid. Sarah could see the conflict in its eyes, the instinct to reject anything from potential enemies warring with the desperate need for relief from pain. Sarah waited. She didn't move, didn't speak. She just sat there, breathing calmly, showing no fear. Outside the cell, she knew the medical team was probably losing their minds. But in here, in this moment, it was just her and a sick child who needed help. The cub took a tentative step forward, then another. It limped on its injured leg, favoring the infected wound. When it reached the bottle, it sniffed deeply. Its rough tongue darted out, testing the liquid. Then, with a small, resigned sound, the cub began to drink. It lapped up the medicine with quick, efficient movements, draining the bottle completely. When it finished, it sat back and looked at Sarah with an expression that might have been gratitude or might have been exhaustion. Sarah slowly reached into her pocket and pulled out a small piece of synthesized meat, the kind the station used to feed carnivorous species. She tossed it gently toward the cub. The creature caught it in midair and swallowed it whole. Good, Sarah said. Now let me look at that leg. The cub didn't move as Sarah carefully approached. It flinched when she touched the bandage but didn't attack. Sarah worked quickly, removing the old dressing and applying fresh antibacterial gel and clean wrappings. The cub whimpered once but held still. Brave little one, Sarah murmured. You're going to be okay. When she finished, Sarah stood and backed toward the airlock. The cub watched her go but didn't follow. As the door opened, Sarah saw its eyes starting to droop. The medicine was working, helping its body fight the infection, and finally allowing it to rest. Commander Reeves grabbed her arm the moment she stepped out. Medical is waiting to scan you. That was the most reckless, stupid, insane thing I've ever seen. But it worked, Sarah said. She felt dizzy and her stomach was definitely unhappy, but she was smiling. Through the barrier, she could see the cub lying down, its breathing already steadier and deeper. It worked because that's what humans do. We build trust. We show empathy. We take risks for others, even when those others have claws and teeth and could kill us. 2 days later, Sarah returned to the containment cell. The cub's fever had broken, and its leg was healing nicely. When it saw her, its ears perked up, and its tail gave a small wag. When she entered with its medication, it drank without hesitation. A week after that, a Vacrian diplomatic ship arrived to collect their lost child. The clan leader, a massive warrior covered in scars and ceremonial markings, listened to the report of how Sarah had saved the cub's life. You drank medicine meant for a Vacrian? The leader asked, his voice a deep rumble. I did, Sarah confirmed. You entered a cell with an injured predator, armed with nothing but medicine and courage. The cub needed help. The Vacrian leader studied her for a long moment. Then he placed his clawed hand over his chest in a gesture of respect. The human species is strange. You are small and weak, with no fangs or claws. Yet you walked into danger to save a child of another species. You earned its trust through sacrifice. He bowed his head slightly. The Vacrian clans remember debts. Your station and your people will always have our friendship. As Sarah watched the diplomatic ship depart with its precious cargo, She thought about what made humans special in a galaxy full of stronger, faster, more dangerous species. It wasn't weapons or technology. It was the willingness to see a scared child instead of a predator. It was the courage to show trust first, to take the risk, to drink the medicine and prove it was safe. That was humanity's real strength. And that was why, despite everything, they belonged among the stars.